Sly. It's a new documentary on Netflix about Sylvester Stallone, and it has audio description. So let's talk about it. If you're a big fan of Sylvester Stallone, then obviously this documentary is for you. If you have no idea who I'm talking about, first of all, why do you watch movie reviews? And also, I don't know. I don't know how to help you. I don't. He's been around forever. His name, he used to have his name. Stallone just used to be in front of a movie. You didn't need to know what his first name was. It'd just be on like a movie poster. Just say Stallone. Like there was only one. Like there could only ever be one Stallone. So yeah, he's pretty prolific. But this is a documentary about him. What I found interesting was the fact that they also bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger to talk. They bring very little people into this documentary. It's like 90% Sylvester Stallone, 10% everybody else. And they do bring in Schwarzenegger, but they also brought in Stallone into Schwarzenegger's like 3-part docu-series that happened over the summer. So Sly got a documentary, Arnold got a docu-series. Arnold's docu-series is a little bit longer as a result because it's a 3-parter, so he got like a 3-hour thing. So Sly's is more like 2 hours. So it's really weird how they're like competing it out on Netflix, but also assisting each other. Because you don't get like other stars coming in here and commenting on Stallone and how much they love to work with him and what their experience was like, and you know, there's a little bit, there's a heavy focus on Rocky and the franchise, so there is a little bit of that through Rocky, but it's not like everybody comes through. You know, Sharon Stone doesn't come through and be like, our time together on The Specialist was amazing. You know, just don't. And that's kind of the thing that I missed about the documentary was Stallone. There are brief mentions to the fact that he doesn't like failure. And so like when a movie of his does not do well, he like takes it personally. And so we just don't talk about those movies. Just because a movie didn't do well financially doesn't mean that it's not good, by the way. I don't remember Copland lighting up the box office, but I'll go to the mat for that movie any day of the week. That's a fantastic movie that is very underrated and has a great cast. And Stallone is heading it. And yeah, I wish Stallone just realized that he does have some gems thrown in there. You know, for every, I don't know, Judge Dredd or bullet to the head, you know, he's got something like Copland sitting there waiting to be discovered. So he just kind of focuses mainly on safety. He wants to give us this full raw emotion, but it feels very performative. It feels very much like, this is all I got, what more do you want from me? You know, and he just spends a lot of time talking about Rocky and Rambo, a little bit about the Expendables, which is a weird tie-in, considering they're not nearly as classic, and he's barely in the 4th movie. I guess spoiler alert, but he's barely in the 4th movie. And he does talk about, which kind of explains why, like, where his characters are in these films. He believes you never see your heroes die. So I guess that's why Rocky is still alive in the Creed verse. I believe the last film left Rambo alive because that's what he was referencing at the time. He was talking about how like his decision to leave Rambo a certain way was because of he's like, what's really sad about Rambo is that he never has a home. I'm like, all right. I don't think people are thinking about those kind of things when they're watching a Rambo movie, but okay. and it explains a lot about even some of his other film choices, and where his characters go from there. So I think it would have been interesting to sort of know the alternative Stallone career, because he did seem to want to be a legitimate actor and be taken seriously. And I kind of think there's an interesting world, parallel universe in which maybe Stallone ends up following maybe like a Robert De Niro type path instead of more of a Schwarzenegger path, and instead of starring in a bajillion action movies, he actually people look at him in Rocky and go, oh, there's a serious actor, let's get him in more serious films. Instead of looking at him in Rocky and being like, that dude needs to blow shit up, which is basically what we did. So, yeah, do you want to hear Sylvester Stallone talk for nearly 2 hours? Then, okay, watch this film. If you want to hear a lot about his thoughts. It doesn't have nearly the depth to it that something like Still, a Michael J. Fox story, did when it came out earlier this year, and actually sort of reached into the depths of Michael J. Fox and pulled a lot of stuff out and had people ask important questions. That doesn't really feel like there's a leader. It feels like somebody just set a camera up in front of Stallone and he just talked into it for a while about his things. It doesn't feel guided. It just feels edited. Edited for time, I guess you could say. And occasionally somebody else will come in and will offer like a little bit of color commentary on a situation or about Stallone's life. But it's mostly limited to the major, the heavy hitters, and it's not as comprehensive as I would have liked it to be. It's very surface, and it's a documentary that seems very like it's controlled by Stallone and how he wants you to view him and remember him, instead of how maybe we should remember him and how we should honestly have a conversation about Stallone, which is not necessarily a bad conversation. I don't think that we're going to have a bad conversation. But if we have an honest conversation, a real conversation, it involves talking about some of the films, some of the choices that Stallone made that he doesn't necessarily want us to talk about. So, we don't always admit to our failings in these series, but I will say that Schwarzenegger, one of the props that I will give him is that he did admit to some stuff, and he did have to talk about his son Joseph and address that story. He didn't like walk around it and pretend like it didn't happen. Stallone just kind of feels like he's trying to ignore, stop or my mom will shoot, stuff like that. I don't know, but why don't we have an opportunity to hear from the horse's mouth what those shoots were like for you and why you chose those scripts. What was it that you saw in those films to begin with? What were your hopes and dreams for each one of those films? Why did you choose them? Was it the money? Was it the script? And this was your opportunity to really give everybody those thoughts, and instead we get, this film is like 50% Rocky, another 25% Rambo, and then 25% other. So it's just, I don't know, it was all right. It's kind of disappointing. I wanted more, just because I want more from from films like this, from Hollywood people that I already know quite a bit about them, and it's like I want them to reach deeper than this, and this was just kind of surface for me. So audio description, it gets to be fine. It gets there. It does. I gotta be honest though, when we opened up with a white man and it was Stallone, I was like, we can do better than this. We can do better than this. Whoever you are, because I didn't know at the time, I was like, whoever you are, we can do better than this. A white man is not a great way to open a documentary called Sly that is about Stallone while Stallone is talking. Because I have a feeling, and I was right, that it wasn't just some random white dude that they found like walking off the street, and they were like, "Hey, I know this is really weird, but we want to open this Stallone movie with you." Me? I'm Dave. Why would you open that? I don't know. I don't know. He just wants to open it with a random white guy. Can you be our random white guy? I mean, I guess. Yeah. Sure. So no, it's Stallone, the person that the documentary is about, and like I get that sometimes with narration that we do this thing where we're like, oh, let's not reveal the name of the person before the documentary is fucking called Sly. It is a Sylvester Stallone documentary. If you want to try to describe what Stallone looks like to the audience, because it's the first time we're seeing him, a white guy is not a description of a person. That does not give you any context as to age. Later on you reveal, like, that he's got short gray hair and a nice trimmed gray goatee, and like we start getting into like what Stallone looks like nowadays. But like the opening description of a white man, I was like, oh no, we're gonna have awful audio description. Oh no. I was like, oh no, it won't even acknowledge who he is. Oh my god. Yes. So, an aging white man, Sylvester Stallone stands. I don't know, something like that. But oh my god, like just. I think the majority of the audience that's watching this film is at least conceptually aware of who Sylvester Stallone is, and has like a cursory understanding of what he looks like as a person. It'd be really weird for people to be like excited about a documentary about a person that had no idea who they were, especially a movie star like that. So. And that doesn't, like I said, that I don't consider that to be like descriptive. White guy is not descriptive to me. Black guy is not descriptive to me. Black woman, white woman, those things are not like, what did you racially define them. Cool. But add something else to make it seem like that's what you're trying to do. Mention his age, mention his height, mention his weight, mention the fact that it clearly works out, something. Pick something. Even a beard, a white bearded guy, like a white man with a goatee. I don't know, throw in something. Use that opportunity for something. Jesus Christ. It's like everybody knows who this fucking is. And you're opening it up by not saying his name. And it was just not, I didn't have high hopes. It gets there. And I thought, considering this is a talking head documentary and Stallone does not stop talking, audio description really did the best that it could. And it describes what it can. It can't get too descriptive because, again, this is like nonstop talking. But, yeah, wow. Like we get slowly like little bits and pieces as the film develops. But man, you had an opportunity there at the beginning before anybody started speaking. I guess there's like an establishing shot of Stallone, and you went with a white guy. Very disappointed. Anyway, documentary is okay. Honestly, Arnold's 3-part thing at least allowed him to go a little bit deeper. We learned a little bit more about him. I don't know why Stallone is keeping things so close to his chest here, but I'm going to give Sly a B. So, it's on Netflix. give it a look-see, especially if you're a fan of Stallone. If you've bothered to watch The Family Stallone, you owe it to yourself to watch something like this. That's a little bit more serious and is really feels like Stallone is actually sort of opening himself up to you. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And you can also follow me, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. You can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it from me. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.